Hey everybody, welcome to StouryTime. I'm your host, John. Today we have a real special episode for you. It may look a little different, may sound a little different. Today we did a Zoom call with my friend, Sean Gorse. For those of you who do not know Sean, he played bass in the band Young English. They used to tour quite a bit. He had some great stories and he wanted to share them. I asked him if he'd come on. He said absolutely. And it was a great conversation. It was great to talk to Sean and catch up a bit. It's been a little while since I've seen him. But yeah, it was really nice to catch up with him, see what's going on with him, what's new with him, hear his stories he had to share. Some, honestly, all of them. I hadn't heard any of them, so that was great to hear them and, see through the eyes of Sean. If you guys like what you hear, like what you see, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to make a donation towards the podcast, you can go to StouryTimePod.com. StouryTimepod.com. If that's not something that you want to do, that's totally fine. I appreciate you sticking around and listening anyways. Maybe share with a friend, anything like that. It all helps. Yeah. So enjoy the episode and we'll catch you next time.
We were pissing neon green every day.
That big ball of heat in the sky was too much. I thought there was a bear.
Reality goes, yeah, fresco. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to
Welcome to
StouryTime.
StouryTime.
Congratulations. You're married? That's pretty cool.
I am. It's dope.
It is
It
dope.
was really cool. I got married in September. I had to think about that. Proposed in November. And I actually was going to propose because my day off was the 11th of November. Or no, September. Okay. Yeah, because that's how the months work.
So, wait, hold on. So you were going to propose on September 11th?
Yeah, because it was
forget.
my day off. And yeah, exactly. How are you going to? So I decided against that, though. And I just called out of work like ahead of time. I was like, hey, like I want to propose to my girlfriend, but my day off is the 11th. And I just don't think it's like the best day to propose is September 11th.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I let my boss know I was not going to be coming in on the day prior. So I did it on the 10th and then we celebrated on the 11th, but
That's awesome. Though.
Yeah. And then we got married in November.
Nice.
That was cool.
So it was a quick turnaround.
Yeah. We went to a wedding and, we had fun. And then the next morning we were on our way back from IHOP and she was like, yo, do you want to get married soon? And I was like, yeah, like, fuck it. Like the, hard part was saying we want to do this, not that it was hard, but like, that was like the monumental thing for me. And, she was like, let's do it next month. I was like, well, we're both off next weekend if you want.
That works too.
So yeah, I hit up one of my friends who works at a jewelry store and he couldn't assist us with wedding bands in time. So he gave us a contact for another place. That dude, Tommy, he hooked us up, got him done like next day. And I hit up Vinny Caruana, asked if he would officiate it. He said, of course. And so, yeah, we just did it with like a week of planning. We had like 6 people there. And one of my good friends, Nick, was on tour with Vinny at the time. So he was one of our witnesses. And it was just a really cool experience, and I always looked up to Vinny in like my high school years and, he was a prominent musician in my life. So it all kind of came full circle. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's that had to be a special moment too. I saw the pictures and everything on it, I think on Twitter.
It was beautiful. It was freezing. It was so cold. I felt so bad for my wife because she was wearing like a dress, and I was wearing a blazer and stuff. So I had a little more warmth, but we did it on a balcony overlooking like the East River, the most beautiful rivers in New York.
That's awesome.
And it was beautiful. The pictures are great. It was freezing though, so we made it quick. But yeah, it was a very beautiful, memorable day for sure.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations again, man. That's great.
You are having a baby.
Dude, I am very excited. It's coming quick too, because we're 23 weeks today, I think, or not today, but at this time. But it's dude, I knew I always wanted kids, but it's like when it's time.
Right.
Oh.
No, and that's me and Ty, like we've always said, like we want kids, like not right now, but like that's something we want. And I can't imagine how like amazing of a feeling it is, but how like scary of a feeling it is too. Cause it's like, that's a big responsibility, you
Yeah,
know?
dude. It's huge. It's a huge responsibility. And you're just like, I'm like, I take care of myself. I take care of my wife. We take care of each other, whatever. We do our parts. But it's like, now
As you
there's like
should.
another like
Right.
thing, a human that like can't fend for itself, you know?
Right.
It's
In
just,
this
it's
economy.
just,
So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
you're screwed.
Yeah.
List
So
the house.
we're really excited, but
Good.
I mean,
I'm happy for you guys.
yeah, thank you. It's
Do
exciting
you know if
moment.
it's a boy or a girl yet? Or are you
It
keeping
is
that secret?
it's gonna be a baby girl. Baby girl.
Aw.
She makes
I
it a
bet-
little more
I bet
scary.
your wife is real happy.
We're both very excited. We
Yes,
both
but like she gets to have the little princess she's always wanted, you know?
exactly. Her little princess that's gonna love the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
come
and hopefully
to an
Buffalo
agreement.
Wild Wings too.
Never Wild Wings. You can't. That's not
No?
even Western New York, dude.
Yeah, well, because you have real wings.
Yeah, but
I
they
live in fake upstate New York.
Well,
I
yeah,
live like 2 miles from New York City, so
right. Yeah. No,
we have
they
Buffalo Wild
still.
Wings outside the front door.
I think we still have one or two like in Niagara Falls in that area, but not in Buffalo, man.
Right, touristy areas.
Yeah,
Where they're
yeah.
like, oh, let's get wings at the original wing place,
Exactly.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, exactly. Because they
You ever heard
created
of Duff's? Yeah, exactly.
it. It's actually Anchor Bar created it.
I don't know which one we went to. We went to one time we were up there. It was,
Yeah.
the home of the original wing. But
Should've been.
is it like a Pats and Geno's things for Anchor and Duff, or?
Basically, yeah. It's like, well, Anchor Bar created them, and then Duff's just became famous because they do a good wing. But if you
Okay.
ask anybody from Buffalo, neither of those places would be recommended to you.
Right, because they're saying Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, yeah, because Buffalo Wild Wings is the best of them all.
And they started it.
And
They're the wildest, too. One of my
No.
friends has a Buffalo Wild Wings tattoo. It's pretty sick. Yeah.
That's
And they
great.
used to have dollar beers back in the day. So, like, before I turned 21, that's, like, where we would all hang out. We would just get, like, a shit ton of beers for the table and just share.
That makes
Great.
sense. That makes sense.
And
Yeah.
that's why someone ended up with a tattoo.
Yeah, that's funny. The traditional used to do a every Thursday we would do a wing Thursday, and we just get a ton of friends to go to this bar called Pappas's.
Mm-hmm.
It was 25-cent wings, and then it was
That's
like
not
25-cent wings, and you could order, I don't know, it was like 50 wings per pitcher of beer. But we'd get like 15 people out there. We'd order 300 wings.
That's a weird rule to have, too.
Weird, but it worked out in our favor because we'd pay like, when you got that many people, everybody pays like $5. You drink all night and you're just full of wings, and everybody leaves with like 20 wings. It's crazy,
Great.
but yeah.
I feel like 20 is like a good amount. I'm not the kind of person that like licks the bone dry, so I actually prefer boneless. I'm like a weird person.
But that's not a wing, that's a chicken nugget.
And that's fine. I don't care. You can call it what you want to call it. You call a hot dog a sandwich. I really don't give a shit. Still amazing.
All right, hot dog sandwich, only if it breaks, right?
Dude, I don't care. It's good. That's what. And the thing is, I've created like the most amazing hot dog in the world. And what I do is I'll take like the Pillsbury croissant roll things that you can make. And I make basically like full-size pigs in a blanket with it. So what I do though, it's different. It's like a gourmet, if you will, hot dog. And you take the full regular like ballpark Frank, wrap it. Well, first you sprinkle some pesto on there, you spread it on. You put some Parmesan cheese, then you wrap the croissant roll around it, and then you put a little more pesto on top with some mozzarella cheese. You put it in the oven for like 15 minutes. It is a golden, delicious, flaky, giant pig in a blanket.
That might have to happen this weekend.
Dude, they're so good.
Awesome. So you played bass in the band Young English, right?
I did.
And then what was the project that you did with you singing? I forget the name of it.
I did a couple. I did one called The Posture, and then I did one called Briefly. Briefly, I did most recently. That was like 2 years ago or something.
Okay.
And it was just a collection of songs that I wrote over the pandemic and, stuff that I had written pieces of like the past 6 years and never did something with. Right. And I kind of just like revisited during the pandemic, and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to make some music.
Mhm.
I did it. It was just like self-fulfillment, you know, like for a lot of people, music is therapy. And that's really what it was for me to like make the songs.
Right.
And then I partnered with my friend Zach, who we have a lot of similar interest in music. And his band and my, well, Young English used to tour together. Well, we did a tour together back in the day. And we always kind of stayed slightly in touch, but we became like better friends like right before the pandemic again.
Okay.
We were both at like a Weaker Thans concert. Well, it wasn't the Weaker Thans, but it was John K. Samson. And we ran into each other there. Didn't even we recognized each other, but it was like, it's been so long. We were like, oh, let's not say anything because this could be awkward if it's not that person. And yeah, we reconnected like over that instance. Like we DM'd each other like that night being like, yo, were you at the John K. Samson show? And yeah, we both started sending music to each other back and forth. And it was cool. And yeah, I made an EP. It was like 5 songs and I just self-released it. And if people liked it, that was cool. I had no intentions of ever playing a show with it, even though, you know, it'd be
Right.
fun, but it's not like there was no drive in making it a full-blown music project.
Right.
I did intend on making like another release under the name, but like, and I'm still not anti that. Music's not in my blood as much as it was, you know? Like the last time I picked up a guitar, it was to teach my wife how to play Sam Smith songs. You know, we just had like a fun wine night and we played Sam Smith songs in the living room. Used my MIDI keyboard and the guitar, and it was fun. It was silly, and that was it, you know? But I would love to write more. I just don't have the time, you know? I work a full-time job, and by the time I get home at night, it's like 8:30, and I just want to chill, you know, hang out with my dog and my wife, eat dinner, watch a movie. That's it, you know?
That's the dream.
I'm so content with that. Yeah, dude, it's so sick.
Same.
Like, I'd rather that than like spend my free time making music. It's amazing. So yeah. I found
great.
home. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. That's what you love to hear, especially like being a fellow, you know, touring musician or ex-touring musician. I mean, I'm in that same boat, you know, so it's great. It's great.
I was telling my wife like about the podcast because, you know, I've listened to like probably most of the episodes, you know, support in the fam. Yeah. And I was just telling her like what the basis is and stuff. And I was like, I feel like a totally different person than I did when I was doing music and touring and stuff like that. Like, that's not even me anymore, man. Like I've just grown into a totally different person. You know, I have a lot of the same qualities. I've connected and still stayed friends with a lot of people, but I don't know. I have no desire to do that shit anymore. You know, if someone was like, yo, there's a tour in Australia, we need someone to do this or that, I'd be like, all right, well, if it's only 2 weeks, I get PTO. That sounds interesting. I'd love to go to Australia.
Right.
Well, like I have no desire to like hop in a van or bus and do anything ever again, you know?
Yeah, that's like towards the end of the traditional, me, Anthony, and Mike would talk and we'd be like, you know, we're done doing the DIY. It just beats the shit out of you. And then, but we all were like, we're not going to call it quits yet, because if the label, small label, we're able to get us on like a music festival or some shit, we're like, we'll just be a music festival band. Like we'll just play the circuits and then call it quits for that.
That's
until the next
literally
one.
why Young English got back together and did like a handful of shows like over the past few years. Is me and Matt didn't talk for a while because I was an asshole and I did something that was stupid and rightfully he hated me, you know? We've gotten past that. We're cool again, but we're not as close, you know?
Right.
And that's something I accepted. But like that had nothing to do with the band breaking up. It was just like why there was no shows post us playing a few more. And then, you know, we officially called it quits necessarily.
Right.
And that was because Chris wanted to like focus on a business that he was doing, which respectfully so.
Absolutely.
But and then we did it with another singer for like a show or two, and it was just like not the same. And that's why we were like, fuck this. Like it's not the same band anymore. It was like me, Matt, Barry, and we had our friend Brian sing, and our friend Rob played guitar, I think, too. But yeah, we did like 2 shows, maybe 3 tops, and it just like wasn't the same. And like we had no desire to do it anymore.
Right.
And then a few years went by. Transit asked us to play one of their last shows, and we were like, this could be fun. Let's do it. So we did it. It was fun. And then we played like a couple more shows, and then I made that fake April Fool's joke that got a bunch of Buffalo bands back together.
Yeah.
And we actually played town ballroom. It literally stemmed from an April Fool's joke that I started just being a punk brat, and it actually happened. And my intentions were not to actually have the show happen, but I was like shocked when it started playing out. So I was like, cool.
That was so funny too, because people were like, "Did you see this? Did you see this?" I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is fake. Like, this isn't happening.
No,
I've talked to Mike. I've talked to the guys. And then I think I talked to Jerry, and he was like, Jeremiah was just like, I think we might try and make it happen. And I was just like, he has no idea what he just did. He just brought back Buffalo's dream show.
Yeah, I honestly forgot how it actually like played out. I think I want to say maybe I was talking to Mike or something, and he was like, "Yeah, but like, what if we actually did it?" And I was like, "Yo, if you want to book it, we'll come," kind of thing. But like, there was no point to try and book that like where we live, because the draw wouldn't be as good. It was all Buffalo bands, so like, why the hell? Like, we shouldn't even been on the bill, honestly. It's just we started the fucking joke, but yeah, it all happened, and like honestly, I love I Can See Mountains, so like seeing that band live again was super cool. Right. So obviously love them as people, but it was just cool to see a band that I thought was such a great fucking band in general play again. All the bands that played were great, but like to me, that was like the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I actually played drums for their first farewell show.
How many farewell shows did they have? Was it like the Ramones where they had like 3,000 last tours or something?
I feel like they had 2 like final shows. They had like a final show. It happened to be a traditional show. It was our headliner show because we were leaving for tour, and they didn't have a drummer, so I pulled double duty that night. And then after that, I think Matt and who was the lead singer? His cousin? Kevin. I guess they were just like, I'm not ready for it to be over. Let's do something together. So they wrote Gone Beachy or whatever it's called, recorded that all themselves. And then I think they may have played like one show after that, and then that was kind of the end of it. But they like stuck around for a little bit after that, I remember.
Yeah, Matt asked me to join them like, I want to say twice probably. And it's just like, I'm not going to move to Buffalo to join a band. Like, even when I was young and stupid, I was just like, this isn't financially stable.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you sent me a list of some stories that you were thinking about sharing on the pod.
Yeah, dude, I really had to jog my mind. Like I said, like I feel like I'm so separated from back then that like I really just like sat on my break at work the day we decided to do this, and I was like, damn, like I can think of maybe 2 things. And like I had to like really sit there and be like, okay, what tours have I done? What bands were on them? What stupid shit happened? And I really had to like really think it through.
Right.
So
it's
some
funny.
Things came to me.
You're going to share some of these, and then more shit's going to pop up in your head. I guarantee it. It happens
for sure.
Every episode. Anybody we've had on, they all have the same reaction. They're like, oh, I thought about this or that or whatever. But so the first one on here, it says bunk pee.
Yeah. I told my wife about this one today too. I was on Warped Tour. I was working for a DJ, and my whole bus was DJs. It was a production bus, so like the production for Warped like put the bus together. Like most of the artists didn't know each other. There was a few buses like that, and mine was mostly DJs, which like I'm not familiar with that world. Like I did open up and find an appreciation for it, but like it's still not my thing.
Okay.
And I was definitely getting drunk every single night. And like it honestly mentally took a toll on me too. Like the last like few weeks of the tour when everyone else is losing their shit, like I was like grounding myself. I was like, no, I have to go back to society after this.
Right, yeah.
So I was like stone cold sober the last like 2 weeks of the tour. But yeah, there was a night, I remember it was from I don't know where the show was, but there was like a beach cleanup day at Asbury Park in New Jersey.
Okay.
And it was like an off day. And I think Kevin Lyman rented out like the Asbury Lanes, the Swellers, Vinnie Caruana, Echo Smith, and a few other bands like played just for like crew and production and stuff. And everybody was supposed to do a beach cleanup, which we signed up for. And I got so drunk the night before that like I didn't make it. But I woke up not woke up, I was sleepwalking in the middle of the night. And there was this dude who was in the bunk underneath me. I was in the middle bunk. And he was some other DJ on the bus. And I just dropped my pants and underwear around my ankles and just peed into his bunk. The curtains were open and everything. And like, I had no like intention of doing this. Like, yeah, I was drunk, but I was like straight up sleepwalking doing it. I came to, my tour manager grabbed me like this, just like shoulder to shoulder, and carried me out of the bus with my pants around my ankles.
Were you still pissing?
Maybe, I don't know. And there's video of the entire thing. And yeah, so that was horrible. I felt horrible too. I like paid for like all new like linens and everything for him, laundered. I felt like he hated me for like a day too. And he was like, dude, like, you know what? I've done basically the same thing, kind of like everybody gets like fucked up and does dumb shit sometimes, but that was like the worst thing. I felt like such a scumbag. But like, yeah, that was ridiculous. But there's a video of it because the dude on the bunk above me like heard the dude that I accidentally peed on underneath yelling at me, like, what the fuck are you doing? But like my eyes were closed, like I was just straight up like sleepwalk peeing on this dude. And yeah, that was an experience that happened.
We a couple episodes ago I had Charlie on Rumfola from Well Kept Things, and he played with the Traditional. And
Sponsored
he
by
shared
Banquet.
Yes, Coors Banquet. But he shared a story about we were on tour, and short story, but we were on tour. He ended up paying for a hotel for us for the night because we'd been out for a little while. He wanted a shower, a good night's sleep. And somebody woke up and pissed all over the nightstand, which was right next to his face.
Oh
and
my gosh.
His phone, his laptop, like everything was on there. And he just wakes up. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And the guy was just like, what? I'm pissing. He's like, all
That's
over
horrible.
everything I own. So it was just like, and it was whatever. It all worked out. But it's just like, that's happened, I feel like, to a lot of people now.
I was in a band with these dudes like before Young English. And there was like a house party, but like all of us were there. It was at one of the people's house that was in the band. And someone peed all over the dude's like music gear and everything.
Oh,
like
no.
pedals, guitars, whatever, like all of it. And yeah, it wasn't me, but it's just like a horrible thing. Like it's just like, damn, that's like $1,000 worth of shit that got ruined.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, you guys always have poop stories, so I figured I don't have one of those. I'll share a pee story.
Dude, it's one of those things that kind of just happened, and we weren't like planning on that happening. And when people have the story, I came up with a little, where'd you poo song and everything. It's pretty funny, but
I'm sorry, I've never like shit myself, dude, in my adult life at least.
There's still time. It'll happen. Eventually,
if I eat enough of these grape candies.
There you go. It's coming. Maybe it'll happen live on the pod.
What else is on this list that I sent you? I don't even remember.
Next on the list, you have Cops / I Can See Mountains.
Yeah. So one day we played a show in Oneonta, and I don't remember who else played really besides 3 bands that were involved in this story. But it was a really good show. It was actually the night that I won't say that. But yeah, so we played a show in Oneonta, and after the show we were looking for like a party, or like a bar to go to,
as a band would do.
Right, like a young band that's not like older people that just want to go to bed after the show. Because we were young. And yeah, we were looking for a party. All the bars were closed. We couldn't find a party. And one of the dudes in one of the bands that played rolled up. It was Young English and I Can See Mountains. We're walking down the street together looking to get into something. And dude rolls up in his car that played the show. And he was like, yo, where are you guys going? And we're like, oh, we're looking for beer, basically. Like, can't figure out how to do that. Everything is closed. And it wasn't even that late. It was like maybe midnight, but I guess everything shuts down early there.
Right.
And which is weird for a college town. And so yeah, he's like, well, hop in the car. And we're like, well, there's like 10 of us. So he's like, yeah, just climb in. So we all get in this car, and like it's very obvious that this guy is inebriated, but like I don't know, we were young and dumb and all got in the car. We got like not even 100 feet down this road. You gotta think there's like 10 people crammed into like a sedan style car. I don't know all about cars, so I don't know what kind of car it was, but it was just 4-passenger car. And there's like 10 of us squeezed into it, sitting across laps, you know, sitting like in the middle of the driver and passenger seat, whatnot. And gets pulled over because there's obviously like 30 people in this clown car. And cop comes up to us and can tell that the driver is drunk, gets him out of the car. We all got no seatbelt tickets. But since the police couldn't fit us in the cop car because there was too many of us, they made us walk to the police station, and they took all our IDs. So like if we didn't go to the police station,
They knew who
we
you
were
were.
then like running from the police essentially.
Yeah. Wow.
So we had to walk. It wasn't like super far, but it was like at least a half mile, which is like insane. And yeah, so we walked to the police station because like we literally had to get our IDs back somehow. And we're there, and it was just, yeah, we literally all got no seatbelt tickets. And it was stupid. Like, we shouldn't have gotten in the car, number one, but like we did. And yeah, we all got tickets. And
so did that dude get a DUI?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he got arrested. Like,
okay. Yeah. So he
that car was
did.
not able to drive.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah. He was a really nice kid, and I feel bad that happened to him. But, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he learned from his mistake.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We were all just as stupid to get in the car. So, yeah, that was the thing that happened. And there's really cool pictures from the police station of all of us just hanging out there, you know, just because we're friends and fans of cops, you know.
Right. Yeah. Everybody is nowadays, especially today.
Big fan. Yeah. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a seltzer water.
Okay.
What is it? It is Dragon Fruit Berry.
That sounds very delicious.
By Wegmans.
Ah, we don't have those over here.
Yet.
I know.
They're making their way.
I think they actually just put one in North Jersey, which I saw not super far from me, but like too far to go grocery shopping.
But also, who the hell wants to go to Jersey?
Well, I lived in Syracuse for a little because I went to school. I went to school in Onondaga.
Okay.
And it was fine. Like, I don't have any memorable experiences from it really, but besides being able to see Polar Bear Club like every weekend, that was super sick.
All right,
that was probably the coolest thing. The Westcott Community Center, that was like the chillest place in the world.
Yeah.
So many great bands went through there.
Yeah.
A lot of great bands originated from that area too. But yeah, Syracuse kind of sucks. Sorry to anybody that likes it or lives there.
It's I still have a lot of friends there. Your old what is it? Label mates of Fortune and Fame.
Yes.
Yeah, still very close.
What's funny is I don't think Young English ever played a show with them,
which is wild because that would have been a great show.
Chris did a solo set with them in Syracuse, and I was gonna go, but I think I last minute was like, I'm not really involved. Like, I don't really want to go. But like I did want to go to like hang out and everything, but then last minute I think maybe something interesting came up that I wanted to do or whatever. I don't know. But I didn't go. But yeah, Dinosaur Barbecue was tight. I don't know if it still holds up. I haven't been in a while, but that was my favorite thing about living there when I lived there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, there's one in Buffalo now. There has been for a little while, but
nice.
Yeah,
is it
Dino
good?
BBQ's good. Yeah, it is good. It's
okay.
It's a little bit more like
go
chainy.
Downhill over time and stuff.
Yeah. It's
Again,
a little bit
we could
more of
circle
a
back to
chain.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Like they used to be great and they kind of fell off.
Yeah, but like if we're talking for real though, Pizza Hut is the one that never falls off. It's always the same.
It still tastes like just grease. Like,
No, dude, it tastes like heaven.
what's your go-to if you had like all the options of like fast food pizza at your doorstep? Which one are you going to? And you could change it up from time to time for sure, but like 9 out of 10 times, which one are you hitting?
I'm saying Pizza Hut. I call it the Palace,
Pizza
man.
Hut?
But so it's funny because so in Western New York, like Western New York is known for its chicken wings, obviously, but also it's known for having good pizza. It's very different from what you're used to in New York because you have that flat pizza. Like the crust is real thin.
Dude, there's so many different versions of New York
Yeah.
pizza. I don't like when people say New York pizza, I'm like, what are you talking about? I've lived in New York my whole life. Granted, I was like an hour away from the city, so like,
Right.
maybe it's not real New York, if you will, but I go to New York. So I work in New York City. I have pizza all the time.
Right.
And every place is different. Like I really don't think there's a New York style pizza. It's fucking different, dude.
I think it's just referring to the thin crust. When they say New York style, they refer to the thin crust because when you come to Western New York, it's like thick. It's like a piece of bread. You know what I mean? It's not like super thick, but it's way thicker, probably 2.5 times thicker than, you know, the thin crust that you would find in New York City or most
I thought
people
you were
think
gonna
of.
say something else, but anyway. You know,
It's funny.
Honestly, my favorite out of all those is Little Caesars.
Okay.
I think it's just, again, it's consistent. I've never had like Little Caesars that taste different, and like you can actually just get one for like $6.
Oh yeah,
I know they advertise as $5, but it's like $6.
That was the move on tour when you only had $5 a day. You just
Dude,
buy a
remember
pizza
when
and
Subway had $5 footlongs? You would just like get 2 of them.
yeah, now they're like
And that's your per
$13.
diem. That was great.
Yeah. Did you guys ever try the free food from Chipotle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awkward though. I've never been the type of person that likes to ask for favors.
Yeah.
So like I don't like being that person, but when I've been like a tour manager, I have to be that person.
Right.
And I just feel like shit. It's great. Like, yes, it works most of the time, you know? Like if you were to call 10 Chipotles, you're gonna get it 7 times.
Right.
And I've had it happen where like, oh, you guys are in a band? Do you have like a CD?
Can we have some
and we're
merch?
like,
Yeah.
sure, I'll give you a CD.
Yeah.
You know, you're giving us like $60-$70 worth of food. I'll give you something
Exactly.
that costs $3 to make.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I did that a bunch, and it was like you're right. It was awkward because you're like you're basically begging, but being like I'm in a band, so it's different.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And I will say though, it does feel good when you get it. You're like, yeah, keep the man, you know,
Yeah,
even though
dude.
it's like not the man,
Yeah,
like you're literally just like stealing from franchise.
Yeah.
But like again, it doesn't cost them a bunch, so whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What were we
So
talking about?
pranked by a roadie who quote unquote may or may not hate you.
Yeah. He actually was. Right. So basically, I was working for the direct support band. This roadie was for the headlining band. He was giving me like an attitude. He was giving me shit every day, and like, I know that like I was younger. I think I was 20, like 19 or 20 at the time.
Yeah.
And I knew I was younger in the field, you know, working for like very legitimate bands at the time. And it was only like my second real tour too. So like I was earning my keep, you know, I get it. But I was also like young where I was like every night is just a party too. So like, yeah, we would just be partying. Like touring at that age was my spring break, straight up. And so I didn't take it as seriously as I should have.
Right.
But whatever, you know, I'm still grateful for my time doing it. But yeah, I was, you know, essentially trying to earn my keep and also have a really good time. And he was basically making me feel like shit and like I was worthless. And I like didn't know what I did to offend this man. And every day I would just be on my best behavior around him, you know, like still having fun like at night and stuff, like when we would go do stuff. But when I was like at the venue and like around the roadie for the other band, I was always just like the nicest person because I knew he didn't like me for some reason. The last day of tour was in like San Francisco or something, and he came up to me and he was like, "Can I talk to you real quick?" And I was like, "Oh my God, this man has never talked to me in his life. He's just like been a dick."
Right.
And we go outside and he was like, "So what's the deal?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, you're rude to me all the time. Like,
Right.
I've never spoken to you because like clearly I did something wrong and I'm sorry. And like maybe I should have said something to you earlier than like the last day of this tour." And he was like, "Sean, I think you're doing an incredible job." And you know, he said he worked for pretty big rock band, you know, bigger than the band that was headlining already. And he's like, "You know, we may have some opening spots on the next run. So if you're interested," I was being a dick because I was testing you out and seeing if you know, were cut out for the big leagues.
Right.
And I was like, one, I'm not the person you should be hiring for the big leagues. But two, like, what? Like the past 2.5 months have been like a prank? Like this is so messed up. I felt so relieved, but I also was just like, no way. And it was funny because I did get offered to work for this like pretty big band.
Yeah.
Which I'll text it to you so you can see here. I just, you know, don't need to say it.
That's fine.
And so yeah, I was like offered to like, you know, interview essentially for it. And I thought about it. I was like, no, these guys are old rockers. Like, they're not going to want to do anything fun on their days off. I was like, I like going to the water park and stuff.
Right,
and I was like,
yeah.
I won't be able to do that with these old dudes.
Right.
And it's because like every band I've toured with, like, you're with the band, you know what I mean? Like if you're with someone like that, there's like multiple buses and you know,
you're
like,
also
you can do what you want on your days off.
Right. And I also know I know for a fact because I know people who've toured with that band.
Right. I listened to a podcast with something like that.
And they don't even see those guys until like day of.
It's,
you know?
stage time probably.
Yeah. Like they'll do like a sound check, okay, and then anything else like MVP or anything else they do, that's when they really work with them. So yeah, you wouldn't have seen those guys at all. But that's actually crazy that you got.
But that's like how stupid I was back then. I was just like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this tour because I want to go to water parks and stuff on my day off. Like
that's insane.
They're not gonna want to do that.
You turning that down changed the whole trajectory of your future, like because you could that
I did
is
a couple
like
tours after that, but that was it.
But that big though?
No, that was the last. I mean, no, I did Warped Tour after that.
Okay, yeah. So that's big, yeah. But that I mean like the band that you named, like had you done that, that gets you into like the realm of career of just a roadie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I have friends that literally are, you know, career roadies essentially.
Like
they work for a production company that just puts them on X tour, Y tour.
Right, yeah.
And it's super cool. But you know, after Warped Tour, I was like, I'm not touring again. This is not.
Just imagine how much more enjoyable that tour would have been if that guy wasn't a dick to you for 2 months or the entire time. You know, like you guys could have really built a rapport.
Every move inside a venue, yeah, it was wild. But it was still a fun tour, you know.
Right.
It was weird because the band wasn't very successful. Like they were like a band back in the day that was like popular when I was in high school, and they didn't do much for a few years. And halfway through that tour, they put out a new album that like blew up. And so like we had to do multiple nights at the same venue or like move to a bigger venue and stuff. So that was a cool thing to like see.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah. That was the most legit thing I did at that time for sure.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be a blast. But also like nerve-wracking in the sense of you're 20 and you're scared of making someone pissed off at you, even if they really weren't, because they were just, you know, committing to the long con or the long bit.
No, and I feel like everybody in a way is like inside themselves sometimes, and like I definitely do that. I'm like, oh, what is this person thinking? Like, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to be a nice, friendly dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Everybody loves a friendly guy, you know. There's no reason to be a dick in any way, but So then next we have signing as J Beebs.
Oh yeah, so there was it was Warped Tour. I wasn't on the tour. One of my friends' bands was, and I just went for like a couple days to hang out. And I had like hair that's not as long as it is now, like probably to my ears. And my hair's kind of poofy if you don't know me. And they straightened it, and I kind of looked like Justin Bieber. So like we just did it for fun for the day because you do dumb things that have no importance when you're on tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they straightened my hair just for fun, and I looked a little like Justin Bieber. So we put shades on me, a leather jacket, and an LA fitted, and I kind of looked like Justin Bieber at a glance. So we held a signing for J Biebs at a well-known pop punk label merch tent, and a lot of people lined up and got Gorse written on anything they wanted signed.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't write Justin or anything, and we didn't do pictures. There's like, if you were to go on like my Facebook back to like 2000 whatever, you'll probably find a picture of it. But yeah, that it was really funny.
So were people
funny.
like were girls like freaking out?
I wouldn't say freaking out. They were just like, what the hell just happened? Like in shock kind of thing when it happened. Like nobody was like crying, it wasn't like that.
Right.
Actually,
how they would actually respond.
Funny, dude. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But so last night, my friend was throwing a party in the city, and we went, and dude, small place. I would say maybe 150 cap room, if you will. Dude, Joe Jonas, Sophie Turner, Dylan O'Brien, and like other random like notable people at this party. And Joe Jonas was like DJing, and my friend is essentially related to him. Okay. But it was just so weird to be in a room of like people I did not deserve to be in a room with.
You were just at this party?
Yeah, because my friend was DJing also.
Okay.
Like that's essentially related to Joe Jonas. So yeah, we got invited by him, and yeah, it was a decent time. He has like his own coffee company, I guess. I don't know. It was sponsored, but it's called Cup of Joe, and I assume that's coffee. But they had sangria, which was delicious, and I had 4 of them. And yeah, it didn't get me very toasty at all. They were just good.
We were kind of talking about this the other day. Like how you're just that lucky, or you're just like, how are you running into all these celebrities all the time?
I work in the city, and you're kind of just like surrounded by it. Like I work in Soho, which is like a very popular area for people with money. It's like a fashion district. So yeah, I mean, I saw Chris Rock not too long ago.
I saw that picture.
Yeah, that was cool. I usually don't take pictures with anybody I meet because like, to me it's interesting. Like I don't really care, but Chris Rock, I love comedy. That dude's a legend. Like for sure. I had to.
That's one you have to.
Yeah, but I saw them filming Secession. That was cool. I saw Kate Beckinsale walking her dog. I saw Kristen Cavallari while I was carrying a box of pizza, and like I kind of gave her that look where I was like, oh shit, you're the girl from Laguna Beach. But I didn't say anything, and she looked at me and she was like, yeah, I'm the girl from Laguna Beach. Like it was like we just like realized like, oh, he knows who I am, and we're not gonna say anything.
It would have been much funnier if she was like, she actually said that. She's like, yeah, it's me from Laguna.
Like, me and my wife went to go get lunch like last month, and we sat next to Jennifer Lawrence. Like,
that's wild.
I didn't even realize that she was there until they were leaving, and my wife told me. She was like, that's that actress. And I was like, who? Because like her back was turned to us at this point because she was walking away.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know, the pregnant one. And she Googled white pregnant actress, and the first thing that came up was Jennifer Lawrence. She goes, her.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. That's insane. And then I saw you tweet something the other day. You walked by Edward Norton or something too.
Oh yeah, he was eating dinner on the street.
Yeah.
You know how they have like the outdoor seating stuff. He wasn't like on the curb eating his dinner. Like, I'm not saying he's in rough times.
Yeah. No,
It's a good restaurant.
No,
It was a good
imagine.
restaurant.
He's just at like a burger stand or a hot dog stand. He's eating
Someone-
the Gorse May.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, someone
Fucking hot dog.
donated like their old pad thai to him, and he's just like munching down out of the styrofoam to go case.
That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, so then last on the list, we have Almost Taken Away by Jeffrey.
Oh yeah, that was on Warped Tour. I was hanging out with the band Handguns.
Okay, yeah.
Great dudes.
Mhm.
We were chilling in the back of our trailer, like the latch was down, and it was like a barbecue. I want to say somewhere in Texas, maybe. Really nice night out. Remember it like it was yesterday because
Yeah.
it was not my fondest of moments. I started talking to, and we were just like in like a circle, like on the trailer, and he started like inching closer, and I was like, "What is he trying to do?" But like I
You
didn't
know
want
what
to
he's
be
trying to
rude
do.
either, so like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never made like a remark that would like make him stop either.
Yeah.
And he ended up like he didn't do anything horrible. I'm not saying that, but like he
Right.
like went to like touch me or something like that, and my tour manager saw me and was like, he needs to be saved.
Right.
And the
yeah.
same way he picked me up when I was peeing on the bus, he did it and just grabbed me and brought me onto the bus.
So then,
And,
what
and he was
what
like,
was
"Do you
his
know what
reaction?
almost just happened?" What?
What was his reaction there?
Very confused. Everybody was very confused. All of Handguns was just laughing.
Yeah,
And
that's funny.
but yeah, for me, I just got whisked away
That's hilarious.
and saved. Who knows what could have happened?
That is too funny, man. That's
I've heard some terrible things about him, so you never know.
I have too, and he's not really a liked person right now.
I mean, I feel like someone like that probably gets rumors made about them all the time.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like a lot of people are like coming out saying stuff about him. So
Yeah.
whatever. I don't give a shit. Doesn't affect me.
I don't either.
If he's a piece
Same
of
way.
shit, hope he rots. Whatever.
And if he's not
But-
a piece of shit, good on you.
I wish him the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. That's crazy. So I typically like to ask is like, what is your most memorable like show that you played on tour? Any band, or you could have
Oh,
just
easy.
been out.
It wasn't even a tour. It was what we announced as like the last Young English show.
Okay.
It was in Long Island at a venue called 86 North, 89 North, 80 something North. I had never been there previously. I've never been there since. I don't know what the capacity was. We were not the headliner. We were booked on the show, and it was known that like something was wrong in the band. Like we thought we were breaking up for a few months, you know,
Yeah.
and like we played a show in Albany and we thought that was the last one, you know,
Okay.
like we didn't know. And there was just a lot of tension like between everybody in the band basically.
Which happens.
And nothing was like really that negative, you know. It was just like we didn't know what was going on with the band, and that's what caused tension, if that makes sense. Like it was like tension because of we didn't know what was going on and we all cared about it. So yeah, we played that Albany show. I want to say it was with Fireworks. I don't
Okay.
remember, but it was at Bogies. I remember that. And yeah, even on the way home, we were like, that might have been the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't play anything after that for a while. And we decided we were going to play a last one. You know, like the band was done.
Yeah,
But
like
we
your
wanted to
final
play-
show.
Yeah, we wanted to have closure, you know, like it was something we all really cared about. And that
Right.
I think closure, I never thought of it this way, but yeah, I think closure is really what that was.
Right.
And there was a lot of really good bands on it. Transit, Such Gold, With the Punches. Yeah, I don't know. It was like a festival. It was like an all-day freaking thing. It was
Right.
too long. But yeah, we got asked to play the show and we were like, all right, well, this is going to be our last show. And I think it was like on sale or announced for a little bit before we announced that as the last one, but like we
Right.
booked it knowing it. And there was literally people from like Asia and wherever in the world like messaging us saying they bought tickets and like they're
Wow.
coming, and like we knew people cared about our band. We had moderate success, we
Right.
weren't big, but we weren't like just a local band either.
Right.
And yeah, so the fact that people were flying, from within the country and out of the country to come to that show because we said it would be the last one was really cool. And I can speak for myself, but I bet everybody feels that way. And we had a great time together, like it was a really good day for all of us. And it was like putting something to bed. And it was like an Andrew WK set, man. Literally, like by the end of our set, the entire crowd was on the stage, like I would say 50% of the crowd was on the stage.
Right.
Just singing along to the one song that everybody loved.
Yeah,
And,
it's
yeah, it
I
was
think
cool.
was that
People
the one
went
that
off
beat
the whole set. But
Were Pagano's there for that?
probably. They were at a lot of our shows. I love those people.
Yeah, I do too. They
I
actually they come
I
through for
tweeted
Bills
at
games all the time.
Brandon today. Oh, I
Oh, really?
bet. I saw Vito's up there often.
Yeah, so they stay with us when they come for Bills games. So we always take care of them when they're here. Him and
Amazing.
Madison. And then actually Karen was here last time. But I'm trying to get. I talked to Brandon a little while ago. He's going to be on eventually, but.
Word.
Vito, I'm pretty sure Vito showed me a video like years ago, shortly after that show, and he was like, check this out. And I just remember seeing like, I think it was like the last chorus of the last song you guys were playing, and kids were just going crazy, stage diving, going nuts. Like, that was such a cool, because I couldn't make that one.
I gave my bass to someone else to play it for the last.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, I'll have to see if he has that. I'm sure he could dig that up and send that to me.
I know there's a video on YouTube of it, and like I'll revisit that like, maybe once a year or something like that. And it's really cool to like see. It's like, wow, that was a really proud moment. Like when you're like a little kid playing your guitar in your room, like that's something you aim to do. And that's something I got to do. Not every show was like that. That was the only show that was like that. But we'd play rooms where there was 50 kids singing along, but that night there was probably 200 to 300, and that was just epic. That was something that like I never thought that I would do, and then I did it.
Yeah, they had to be real humbling
in
too.
A karaoke band for a while after that with Chris, and there was way more people going to those shows that were singing along, but it was not fulfilling. It was just like.
So you guys were doing that across.
I didn't care about.
You were doing that across state lines though too, right? Like almost touring, doing that.
Well, they literally do flyout dates. I stopped doing it with them like probably a year ago now, but they've done flyout dates to like Florida and stuff. I think they've gone out to the Midwest. I think.
Wow,
but
that's wild.
Definitely down to like North Carolina, Florida, and stuff. And it's really cool that what they're doing. And I think it's awesome. They're building like a really cool community of people that like. How cool is it that you would want to be a singer in a band, but you don't know how to do that? You don't know how to get a group of people together. And then this show is playing your city, and you get to be the singer of Paramore for, 3 minutes.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool. And I think that the concept alone, and I know that band isn't the only one doing it. There's like a few acts out there doing the same thing. We definitely weren't the first either.
Right.
But it was cool to, give people that moment that they maybe not would have had otherwise.
Yeah, it gives them
it wasn't fulfilling for me. Yeah, like, and the money is decent too, I will say, but like it wasn't fulfilling. Like there was no work-life balance for me. When I was living like a little further upstate, like an hour from the city, I would have to get off work at like 7-8 p.m., drive to the city, which is like an hour away, find parking, which takes a half hour, play a 3-hour set. Then you have to load out. You're not home till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And it's just so draining. And like, to me, no amount of money was worth that. So
yeah, that's gotta be tough.
I would literally look like I was falling asleep up there.
Yeah. No, we so Buffalo has a live karaoke band that they do every weekend or like, once a month they'll do it or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's every weekend, and they'll do either pop punk or, like shit that's on the radio now, and they, depending on the night. But yeah, that's it gives people that chance to live their dream, which is really cool.
It's super cool. Like, that's the thing, is it wasn't music that I particularly cared for. Like, out of like the maybe 100 something songs, there was like 5 that I would be excited to play.
Right.
Yeah. So, and they were all Jimmy Eat World songs.
For sure. Love that. That's great.
No, and Flavor of the Week, that was a cool song.
Flavor of the Week.
Song.
Who's that by?
American Hi-Fi.
Oh, okay. I was never a big American Hi-Fi fan.
Nintendo, the hits.
The hits. That's great. All right, man. Well, we're winding down here, so I do want to thank you again for doing this. This is great. If you have more stories or anything that come up later on, you want to be back on, you're always welcome. I appreciate you doing this, man. If there is anything that you want to promote, any social media, anything, now's the time.
Yeah, you can follow Barry on Twitter at HeyBarry92.
That's great.
I have nothing to plug, so.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you doing this. This is great. Yeah, I'll be in touch, and hopefully we'll get you on again sometime soon. But
and good luck with baby.
Thank you very much, man. Again, very excited, very horrified, but yeah, this is
you got this.
Pretty cool. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can't wait.
You got your dad like Adidas tracksuit on right now.
That's
You're ready to like grab some
wear.
gabagool and like say, "Hey kid, go get me the paper."
So real quick, so when we found out what it was, I told my wife, I was like, all right, when we do figure it out, we're gonna go and we can each buy one thing, like for the baby. So we went to the store. We were at this, children's clothing store. My wife found
you bought
something.
gabagool?
My wife got something she liked. And I was like, I'm not sold. Go to another store. Not sold. We're at the mall. I'm like, all right, let's just go in here. We're walking. I'm like, all right, I'll just get this one. This one's cute. Walking around, turn around, and there's just Adidas apparel for newborns. I was like, I told you I'd know when I saw it. So my baby's already got a shitload of freaking Adidas stuff because that's all I wear when I'm home.
That's dope. Well, you look cozy, so.
Dude, I'm always cozy. Always. I work in construction, man, so you got to be cozy when you're home. But yeah.
Oh, you have to.
All right, man. Again, I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out and sharing some stories.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, guys. If you like what you heard, give a like and subscribe. Share with your friends. And StouryTimePod.com. StouryTime Pod across all platforms. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bitch.